Love at First Sight. This is a Family Grows, Unit 4, Lesson 7 of Enduring Faith Bible Curriculum. Our lesson today comes from Genesis chapter 29. Hear the word of the Lord. Then Jacob went on his journey and came to the land of the people of the east. As he looked, he saw a well in the field, and behold, 3 flocks of sheep lying beside it. For out of that well the flocks were watered. The stone on the well's mouth was large, and when all the flocks were gathered there, the shepherds would roll the stone from the mouth of the well and water the sheep, and put the stone back in its place over the mouth of the well. Jacob said to them, "My brothers, where do you come from?" They said, "We are from Haran." He said to them, "Do you know Laban, the son of Nahor?" They said, "We know him." And he said to them, "Is it well with him?" They said, "It is well. And see, Rachel his daughter is coming with the sheep." He said, "Behold, it is still high day. It is not time for the livestock to be gathered together. Water the sheep and go, pasture them." But they said, "We cannot until all the flocks are gathered together and the stone is rolled from the mouth of the well. Then we will water the sheep." While he was still speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess. Now, as soon as Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, Jacob came near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. Then Jacob kissed Rachel and wept aloud. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's kinsman, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. As soon as Laban heard the news about Jacob, his sister's son, he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. Jacob told Laban all these things, and Laban said to him, "Surely you are my bone and my flesh." And he stayed with him a month. Then Laban said to Jacob, "Because you are my kinsman, should you therefore serve me for nothing? Tell me, what shall your wages be?" Now Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the older was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah's eyes were weak, but Rachel was beautiful in form and appearance. Jacob loved Rachel, and he said, "I will serve you 10 years for your younger daughter Rachel." Laban said, "It is better that I give her to you than that I should give her to any other man. Stay with me." So Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed to him but a few days because of the love he had for her. Then Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife, that I may go into her, for my time is completed." So Laban gathered together all the people of the place and made a feast. But in the evening he took his daughter Leah and brought her to Jacob, and he went into her. Laban gave his female servant Zilpah to his daughter Leah to be her servant. And in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And Jacob said to Laban, What is this you have done to me? Did I not serve with you for Rachel? Why then have you deceived me?" Laban said, "It is not so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn. Complete the week of this one, and we will give you the other also, in return for serving me another 7 years." Jacob did so, and completed her week. Then Laban gave him his daughter Rachel to be his wife. Laban gave his female servant Bilhah to his daughter Rachel to be her servant. So Jacob went in to Rachel also, and he loved Rachel more than Leah, and served Laban for another 7 years. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. So here we have, hot on the heels, Jacob leaving town because his brother Esau is very, very upset at him. You remember from last week that he has stolen his blessing after he has finagled his birthright from him even earlier than that. And so Esau is very upset and pursues him. And so he leaves, he departs, and goes back to his kinfolk. And so here he shows up at Rebekah's brother's house to Laban. And as he's approaching, he sees the shepherds and the flocks gathering around a well. And as he inquires about his situation, here arrives Rachel. And it's love at first sight for him. He sees Rachel, he immediately falls in love. He asks about her. He even as he waters her flock and finishes the work and puts the stone back on the well, kisses her and weeps aloud for the great joy that he has found, as he has found the love of his life. And so they return to Laban, and Laban is overjoyed to know that his brother Rebekah has a son and that now he has come to visit. And after a month's time, Laban says, you must be paid for your work. You're not just going to work for me for free. You're my kinfolk. And so he asks what the wage should be. And to his surprise, the wage that he asks for is Rachel. Now, Rachel has an older sister. Her name is Leah. And it seems to be that Leah has weak eyes, as the scriptures say, but that she may not have been as attractive as Rachel. We get a very pointed statement in the scriptures about how beautiful Rachel was, but no such word comes about Leah. And later we're going to see that the Lord saw that Leah was hated even, that there was a deep hatred for her, and the animosity there, of course, that the Lord works through in various ways. Rachel, of course, is the one that Jacob wants to marry, and he asks for her in 7 years. And the Bible tells us that those 7 years went by like in a snap because of his great love for Rachel. And as that all comes to fruition, it comes to a close. He asks for Rachel, and he is on the night of the feast, the night of the wedding, deceived by Laban himself. Now, this is an opportunity for us to talk about a few things, 10 Commandments related. First of all is bearing false witness. So that's Commandment 8, and we're going to see that there are various things that weren't said properly. There could have been great lead up to all of this, right? When he asked for Rachel, Laban could have said, that's not really the normal thing. We need to get Leah married first before I can agree to that. But no, he keeps his mouth shut until the very end, and then deceives him by stealing away that which has been promised to him. So perhaps we could look at the 7th commandment as a connection here. You shall not steal. But perhaps even then the 10th commandment, in a way, this is not a direct coveting. Obviously, Laban is not interested in marrying Rachel. It's his daughter, but he does sort of not do things in the right way that ends up creating a problem in the relationship. So I would say 7 and 8 are key points here, as well as 2. Here's another one to throw into the mix, right? As we see the calling upon the Lord in the midst of trouble, right? But call upon him in every trouble. Pray, praise, and give thanks, Luther told us. In this particular moment, Jacob would be calling upon the name of the Lord in his troubles. Now, he serves another 7 years to get Rachel, and now he is a man with 2 wives, and this is not something that is condoned by the Lord. It is definitely a breaking of the 6th commandment, in the fact that a man is to have 1 wife and the 2 are to love and honor each other. And yet, in the midst of this sin, in the midst of this problem and all of the situation that Laban and Jacob have created, the Lord chooses to bless Jacob, and to bless his church by giving forth the promise, the continued promise that he gave to Abraham, that he gave to those prior to Abraham, all the way through to our Lord Jesus Christ, which makes us children of the Most High God. It seems interesting too that we get the mention of Bilhah and Zilpah here. Zilpah, of course, is the female servant of Leah. Bilhah, the female servant of Rachel, which later will become the next two wives of Jacob in the fits of trying to figure out the plan of God without actually waiting for God, right? And the problematic nature that ends up in the family of Jacob. The other thing to note is the presence of shepherding and the flocks, and that's going to show up again as we learn a little bit more about the family and their time still with Laban. This might be an opportunity to talk about Jesus being the great good shepherd, and noting perhaps some of those great things that we mentioned at the beginning of the Easter season when we celebrate Good Shepherd Sunday. We might want to sing like "Have No Fear, Little Flock," or one of those hymns, right? Have no fear, little flock, have no fear, little flock, for the Father has chosen to give you the kingdom. Have no fear, little flock. I also like 666, which is, "O little flock, fear not the foe, who madly seeks your overthrow. Dread not his rage and power, and though your courage sometimes faints, his seeming triumph for God's saints lasts but a little hour." And then, of course, if you have littler kids, "I am Jesus' little lamb, ever glad at heart I am. For my shepherd gently guides me, knows my need and well provides me, loves me every day the same, even calls me by my name." So I hope you enjoy the study of Genesis chapter 29 and A Family Grows, the story of Jacob getting married to Leah and Rachel. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I look forward to seeing you this Sunday. God's peace.